All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another AMV Nightmare, or this isn't on AMV Nightmare, this is on NBS. Hilariously, that means Nightmare Broadcasting Station, but let's face it, we all think no bullshit. Welcome back to another NBS podcast. I am Shadow Mercury, hosting, as always, joined once again by our fearless leader, Adam Slave.
Yo!
Joining us once again is Soul Striker Sevens.
Greetings.
And somehow broadcasting from the middle of nowhere space, he's alive, Hydriatus.
Hail.
Alright, so I gathered us all here today because we all share one thing and one thing in common, and that is a love of freedom, liberty, democracy, and watching bugs blow the fuck up as we chain them down with those good old 50 caliber guns. Yeah, we're talking about Helldivers. Primarily the fact that they're discussing a Helldivers movie. And so I immediately went, okay, who here has a wish list regarding the Helldivers movie? And didn't take long to get some volunteers on this one. So we're gonna have we all have our wish lists on. We're gonna discuss who we would like to see direct, who we would like to see star, who would like to see cameo, what the setting of the movie should be, and also what style should the movie be, because we still don't even know what kind of movie we're getting yet. But I guess before we start that, I guess quick run on how everyone's Helldiving is going. Adam.
It's going pretty smoothly. I am actually the rank of actual general, apparently, because I bumped up the level to past 50. And so far, I've been loving the Illuminate whenever they pop up in and out. So I'm happily enjoying the game.
All right. Striker, I know it's been a while since you've played.
Semi-retired at this point.
Helldivers never retire. We'll find a way to drag you back down onto a planet.
Well, it's not that I don't like playing the game. I do really enjoy it. It's just because of time zones, no one's ever around when I can play.
Yeah.
And games like Overwatch and League have traumatized me, so I don't bother with Randys anymore. So,
which is hilarious because I've actually had a lot of good luck with Randys on Helldivers. Like, even just the other day, I logged on, randomly joined some guys, and it turned out they're all from Scotland. Huh. And we fucking tore it up and just had a great time. And
well, that's cool.
they all sent me a friend request afterwards. So I was like, hell yeah, win-win-win.
Well, that's cool. I mean, granted, with it being a PvE game, I can imagine the community might be a bit more friendly, but I just don't want to. Really.
To be fair though, League, Overwatch, those are some pretty toxic communities. And Hydra, how's your diving going?
Well, for me, Helldivers has become pretty much the go-to sort of sit down and pick up and play game. It's my, I'll finish work, I can sort of jump on, play a bit. It doesn't demand a lot of time, and you can get a pretty solid dive in, within half an hour. I don't play it, like, studiously, or I've not really ground out all the ranks, so I'm still a little bit way off general. But, I've got a good little crew I can jump in now and then, but most of the time it will be going with randos. I don't know if it's like a difference in servers, if there is like a regional thing, but pretty much every group I've jumped into has always had their mics off. So we just cooperate in silence.
That seems to be the thing. Like even those guys, the guys I just talked about, the guys I played with from Scotland. When I first joined in, I joined in on one of them, and he was with two other Randys, and we did our first mission in absolute silence. No one said a thing. Then his friends jumped in on him, and as soon as they jumped in, mics were off, they're talking. That's when I realized, oh, I'm playing with some guys from Scotland. And they even said, like, who's this fourth guy? I don't know, just the guy I picked up. So I turned my mic on, and then we started talking, and they accused me of being American, so of course I took offense to that, and I had to correct that and let them know, oh yeah, I'm a Canuck. Get it right. I live on maple syrup, not on Budweiser or whatever the new American beer is now. I don't know. And they all were like, "Hey, we got a Canadian, awesome!" Maybe that's when they sent me the friend request. They were just like, "Finally, we can add the Canuck to the accumulated Helldiver bingo card." All right, but enough of that shenanigery. Excuse me. Ugh, dry winter. My sinuses have not been liking it. So, let's go with our movie talks. Do you guys want me to go first, or does it?
Well, what are we talking? What are we talking about first?
I guess yeah. We can go around the table and like go 1, 2, 3, 4. Like we'll talk directors first, then we'll talk everything else first. So yeah, fuck it. I'll start.
Yeah,
this one.
I was gonna say. Yeah,
go
the list
ahead.
Shadow gave us was who should direct, who should be in it, what the plot should be, and then like what sort of format should it be, live action, CGI, or anime. So that seems like we got 4 chapters to discuss.
Yeah. Yeah, because initially I was thinking we'd like one person do all 4. I was like, nah, fuck it, let's do a round table and do one at a time. So I'll just do the I'm just lowballing this one. I'm low hanging fruit on this one. Michael Bay to direct.
What's the last thing he directed? I've not heard his name brought up in cinema in a while.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Was it actually a
don't-
Transformers movie he did last? I don't know which Transformers movies because I lost track of them.
I'm not even sure.
It's
Hang on.
been a while, if it is. Like,
Michael Bay.
I don't remember
movies.
if he was involved with Bumblebee or not. Or Rise of Beasts. I can't remember if he was involved in them.
Excuse me.
I suppose that's his style could blend with the goofiness of Helldivers.
Well, just for the level of like explosions and all that, because
But then you don't want him, you want his special effects team.
Yeah, like there's a difference.
all right.
But- We pretty much
I mean-
had with it though.
I mean, it's not a bad choice because, you know, for good or ill, I mean, his movies are coherent. You know, there is a beginning, a middle, and an end. There's
guess.
not much in the way. There's not much in the way of character arcs, but you know, that's us delving into is that something that's a necessity.
yeah, but
It's
even
how-
like
It
sorry, go
really
ahead,
comes
go
down
ahead.
to how much you credit the directors and how much you credit the story writers.
Yeah. I'm looking at I've pulled up everything he's worked on. Last movie he did was Ambulance for Universal Pictures. Not familiar with that one.
No.
But I'm looking through like his actual like a lot of his directed features, and it's a big one that a lot of people forget. Like he did The Rock, he did Armageddon, 2 movies that I fucking love for just everything that goes on in those ones, as well as he did 13 Hours, Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, which I thought was a really well done. Like that one was really well done, as was 6 Underground for Netflix.
Okay, I can see the logic behind there, but then aren't those his older movies, and then he's kind of never really recaptured that moment?
Well, 13 Hours was 2016, 6 Underground was 2019. So those ones,
Okay.
those ones are definitely closer to like they definitely like when I saw that those are ones he directed, I was like, fuck, really? Shit, I didn't realize that was him. But like, yeah, I'm actually now feeling more confident in my call on Michael Bay, because initially I was just going, because Helldivers is full of explosions and all this crazy ass shit going on. Everyone's like, yeah, Michael Bay would be perfect for this one. But now I was like, actually no, never mind. Michael Bay would actually probably be a good call. But so yeah, that's my call for director. Adam.
Huh. I'm not used to Michael Bay being called out in a positive light.
I know, neither am I.
Well, I don't know about director-wise, but I just want to make sure that whatever direction they go, as much as I kind of like the little cameo they did, I don't know, forgot. Did Sony did it, but for the whole Lost Levels, Secret Levels, that they did the Helldivers cameo, I just want to make sure that they are just not going to be like something involving just us. I know the whole running joke is like, no, us shouting out freedom, democracy, all that stuff, but that whole cameo we did on, or the Helldivers did on Secret Level, I just want to make sure we go beyond that fold.
Well, seeing as this is supposed to be like a full feature length film of Helldivers, I think we're going to be more than just a cameo.
Well, that's what I mean, because yes, I know I know that was just a cameo of Helldivers, but I want to make sure that whatever direction we do go is going to go beyond us just sprouting a couple of catchphrases, and they're going to slap on the Helldiver name on it on the movie.
So what Michael Bay would do.
That's basically what I'm worried about. Is that it could be any kind of generic sci-fi fantasy movie, and they're just going to slap the Helldiver name on it just because we have, us in our generic armor and just spouting out our catchphrases. I just want to make sure that whoever's directing this is going to go beyond that mold.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then who would you call? Who do you sort of think of when you're like a director who could handle that?
That's the problem, because nowadays a lot of people just don't really make. I guess I could say no one make good movies anymore. So I just want to hope. That's what I'm hoping for. That someone actually breaks that mold. So I don't really have a specific name in mind.
I was going to say someone new. So what you're saying, Adam, is you don't so much have a name you want attached to it, so much as you have a name you want to kept very, very, very far away from it, such as Paul W.S. Anderson, the guy who fucked up Monster Hunter and Resident Evil.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. God,
I don't want another Monster Hunter, basically. Because
I saw the Blu-ray for that yesterday in the theaters, or not theaters, in London Drugs, and on the back of it it said, big weapons, big monsters, non-stop action. I was like, there was action in that movie? I don't recall.
Yeah.
Alright, so Adam just has a, don't let this person near it. So yeah, no offense to Constantine Films, but no touchy. Although I'll also say that whoever was in charge of doing Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, I'd also like them to stay the fuck away from it, because they butchered that really hard. Striker.
Yeah, I'm a bit the same boat. I don't really have anyone in mind. Like, I mean, I don't know how much of this is for the plot section or this section, but I just want them to be able to capture to be able to have fun with it, the over-the-top campiness of the whole thing, Don't take it too seriously. Feel free to retort. I know, big,
that's
sweeping statement there, I guess.
That's you're voicing a very safe opinion there, buddy.
No, sorry, I was listening to that and just thinking, like, I was just looking like, who am I thinking of? That I looked down. Oh, thank you, Fail, for dropping the joke comment. So, almost like Paul Verhoeven, the guy who did Starship Troopers.
I guess you just call him Fail.
Failhammer. I'm looking at his comment in the Discord.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking about Hydra for a second there. Like, I know we work with him a lot, but he's not here.
I'm drinking coffee, not a Bailey's coffee. I have that at noon.
I mean, I don't know, because, he did that, but I don't know what he's done since. That was a while ago.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know anything else that he's done.
Because, yes, again, I don't know if it's plot or directors, but again, yes, Starship Troopers is the very easy comparison, but you also don't want to make a clone of it as a,
Considering how much Helldivers is a clone of it. Oh, kind of, like,
I mean,
I have something I want to say on that, but I want to wait till Pydra's had his time to say his piece first.
Right, so that's I don't know how much of this is director or plot area. Like, I don't really have anyone in mind. I don't really know directors all that well, so I can't think of anyone immediately.
That's fair.
I just want someone to do a good job and understand the material.
Amen to that. I think that's the most important part, is make sure it's someone who's come... Like, if anything, an important thing would be, like, whoever's coming in is either someone who's played the games, has watched the games, or at the very least, like, they understand what they're coming in with, and they're not someone who's just coming in with, I have something in mind, and I'm just going to slap the word Helldiver on it and tell my story that has nothing to do with Helldivers. Like, that's my biggest fear, because, again, that's what's happened with Resident Evil. Every live-action Resident Evil has had that done to it, and that's why they've all failed.
Oh, yeah.
Because I figure, I can tell my story, and I'll put Resident Evil on it, and it can't fail. And then the Resident Evil fans are like, this isn't Resident Evil, and then they're going, why isn't anyone watching it? I guess they don't like Resident Evil. No, we don't like your bullshit, because your bullshit isn't Resident Evil.
I know. Too many directors are like that. I think I heard something similar was like, they're doing the Yakuza stuff, and the director was saying, the actors wanted to play the game, see the characters, get to know them, and the director's like, no, don't play the games. We want to do our own thing.
Yeah. Well, again, like,
did you see the original Yakuza movie?
There was an original?
Yeah, there was one in the, early 2000s. It's really good! They actually have a bit with Majima is being kind of a dorky threat.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know there was a one beforehand.
Oh, he gets into a fight scene near the end of the movie where, action movie, he's beaten up and wounded, and he actually grabs, a soda and downs it and just heals in front of you.
Okay,
or there's a bit where there's, Majima is spying on him behind a corner, but the bit you see of Majima is the one with the blind eye. So he's just standing half behind a pillar with the eye patch staring at Kiryu, and you're like, what is happening?
See, that is the sign of someone who gets the tone and what makes it great. That sort of thing. That's what you need in a director that understands what makes the material so good.
Let's be honest, though. I'm going to guess that one was made in Japan by Japan and not
of
by
course.
Western studios.
Oh, that's probably why I haven't heard of it.
That's probably why it succeeded. Or probably why it was done well.
Oh, here we go, yes. While we're quickly on this, I was going to say, Like a Dragon the movie, 2007, directed by Takashi Miike.
Okay.
Very good.
I recognize the name. It's probably one of those ones where, I'm familiar with the work, I just, at the same time, I'm not familiar with the work. I need to actually look at what else he's done. But, with all that, Striker, you good to hand it off to Hydra?
Oh, yeah, I didn't have much for this.
Okay, well, when you sort of explained this, I was like, oh god, let's take a quick Wikipedia look through a lot of directors or movies I like that I feel I could handle this. My first thought went to, I think most of the audience probably won't even get this. Remember when ODST Halo was coming out? Or even,
yes.
Back then with Halo 2, Halo 3, and you had, all those really solid live-action trailers?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking of, the directors behind those. Those are a bit more, grim and serious, but if you have that as, the main thrust, because the characters have to be grim and serious, and the situation and the story around them is ridiculous. The problem is, the We Are ODST, where you've got this sort of, someone joining the military and going through all the essentially Helldiver training, just as a full live-action short, was directed by Rupert Sanders, who has not had a great time since then, having made Snow White and the Huntsman, the 2017 Ghost in the Shell, and 2024's The Crow.
Oh,
haven't seen that one yet, but I've heard things.
It's not an encouraging resume.
Yeah. However, if we want an encouraging resume, and someone who's handled video games, might be a bit of a out there call, but Jeff Fowler. This is the director and animator behind Sonic the Hedgehog series. Because those have been pretty well received and seen as very true to the spirit. Maybe not true to the letter in adaptation, but that's a completely separate discussion.
That's why
But,
it's
you know,
adaptation.
Yeah, and he's done all 3 Sonic the Hedgehog movies, and they have improved on each other. So,
Especially like the main issue we had with Sonic at the beginning was how they were going, this is how he's gonna look, and the internet went, kill yourself. Okay,
Yeah,
what if we
but
made him look
that's
this way? We love
yeah, but
it.
that's a visual thing. I mean, like, the actual plot and stuff in there, and then, like, when you actually watch the movies, there's also a very lot of good visual, like where he directs shots and scenes to do the visual callbacks to the games. So he's, like, certainly someone who gets what video game fans want.
That is a good idea. I see your logic behind it.
I'm all for that. I'm just now thinking, who directed Detective Pikachu? Because that's another person who I feel did a really good job. Hang on.
That was actually a pretty faithful representation of Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie. I actually enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Or the team behind the Dungeons & Dragons movie.
That was another good one.
Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one.
Rob Letterman did Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
And screenplay, so writers, Dan Hernandez, Benji Samit, I'm probably mispronouncing that. Rob Letterman helped, as well as Derek Connolly. Okay, so yeah, like that'd be another probably another like team that do a good job, because like both visually and story wise, that one was done really well.
Yeah. But I was also going to say is both of those examples also made comedies. And I think you need to have it that comedic element in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you want like a sci-fi epic, then you go to like Denis Villeneuve. You go to the Dune crew. But that's not what you want. You want something tongue-in-cheek?
Yeah, because something I was gonna say, like you, like going back to what I wanted to say earlier when Stryker was talking, like because yeah, you want that balance, because obviously like it with Helldivers, it really comes down to what's the situation. Because let's face it, like when you play Helldivers, if you're playing like a level between 1 and 5 drop, is like specifically like if you're against the bugs in a level 1 or 5 drop, what are you doing? You're literally just joking around. You are like it's a massacre. You're having fun. You're cracking jokes. It makes sense for the Helldivers to be goofing off because they're basically on cleanup crew. They're not doing. They're in no real danger. They're just mopping up. They can say and do whatever they want. But then if you want to drop them into a super hell dive, or like more accurate, like super hell dive against the automatons, then it would make sense to go dark and grim, because that's where it's gonna get serious. The joking matter ends here, because this is no longer we're in no danger. We're just gonna mow this down. This is the point of like fucking. We're gonna die with one wrong move.
It's like actual Vietnam War kind of action.
Exactly.
Oh, good. You just said them dropping in and being traumatized. That pinged something. Where is it? Here we go. Director Doug Liman made Age of Tomorrow. That would also be very good.
To a degree, I'd almost say like this, like Helldivers would almost like, as we're talking about this, I feel Helldivers would do really well with almost 2 directors. One person to focus on the goofiness and like the lighthearted side, then one person to solely focus on the dark and gritty side, to make sure that we're getting both sides of those coins, because it's such a, again, like just with Helldivers, it can be such a drastic flip between the two.
I don't think, because when we say dark and gritty, there'll be a lot of association. You don't want that visually, because the game is quite clean and very visually striking. Not quite like cartoonish, but I mean, it's not. Even if you're like crawling through the dirt on Malevolent Creek, it's still very stylized,
Oh, okay, when I say dark and gritty, I just mean more like, I guess, like violent and gory. That's what I'm going for. That's more what I mean.
That is an interesting rating.
Because let's discuss. Because again, it's just discussing how it looks. Like, there's a huge difference between like dropping on a bug, like a desert bug planet, and fighting the bugs on a desert planet versus fighting the automatons, as you said, on Malevelon Creek, where it's just trees and forest everywhere. These are two huge things, especially if you switch between day on the bug side and night on the automaton side. It's almost like you're playing two different games at that point.
I mean, again, I don't know if this would be plot point or this area, but like it's like whether or not you stick to one planet or jump between multiple planets.
Well, yeah, that would come down to story, which we'll get to in a little bit here.
This section is blending a lot.
Yeah, we're
Okay, yeah. So I think we've all talked about the director stuff. We've done the director stuff. What we're gonna go into is stars, cameos, so on. But let's take a quick aside here, and because as was raised a really good point, what should the rating be?
Oh, absolutely, it has to be R. You look at the game. You have dismemberment, you have explosions, you have body parts, guts, and gore all over the place. If this movie is not rated R, then what the fuck are you even doing?
Yeah, I feel like...
I don't feel it needs
Because
to
there
be
should not
rated
be
R.
like a
I think
PG-13 bullshit about it.
No.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be.
that's what
It shouldn't
I'm
be like that. But I don't feel it needs to be an R, because you can get pretty violent and horrible without needing to show a lot of stuff. And you need to keep in mind this is a Sony trying to push a video game movie, so they're gonna push for broad appeal.
Yeah, but again,
Because
the game's rated
again,
M.
look at true. But I mean, like again, look at Starship Troopers. That gets a little bit gory and bloody, but it's not like graphic.
Well, even what about like something like Deadpool, where that is R, but it's not
Yeah,
like
good
in
point.
your face R.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, like that's honestly that's how I'd feel it'd need to be. Is almost like a. Actually, why didn't we think about the Deadpool director for Helldivers? I feel because he'd definitely do if like, he'd definitely do the comedy right, and he'd do the action right. It'd just be more of anything more serious would be possibly a little. I don't know what all he's done, but that could
Maybe.
there's an idea.
I just feel like R would like lift a lot of restrictions, and because like I feel like when they try and aim for a lower rating with stuff like this, they cut out so much or get restricted by so much that it just suffers because of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
this is why I'd say like rated R or 18A or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like it's got to be like it has to be at a rating where they're straight up able to go, okay, nothing's off the table.
just
Like
so
you
it
can
doesn't
actually
limit
see someone
like,
get
what they can
paled by a
do.
Terminid, and not just like something off camera.
Yeah, but again, I'd want that to be more cartoony violence than, like, Saving Private Ryan, because I feel that's more true to the games. Because there is a very sort of comedic sociopathy to Helldivers 2.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Well, here's the thing: I would
again,
love
it's-
for it to have go into a direction like Saving Private Ryan, but then it actually has some comedic moments. But I guess we're going to go back to the whole Starship Troopers aspect, where it actually goes like in that kind of direction sometimes.
Yeah, because Starship Troopers had its serious moments mixed in with the ridiculousness. Like, I think that's just one of those things. Like, it's impossible to not say Starship Troopers with Helldivers, just because Helldivers, the CEO of Arrowhead has straight up said, "Why does Helldivers exist? Because Starship Troopers exists."
I mean, yeah, but there's no avoiding it.
The whole point of Liberty Day was actually based around Starship Troopers. Like the publishing of the book of Starship Troopers.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and having recently read the book, first off, the book has absolutely nothing to do with the movie. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's pretty common knowledge.
I feel like we should address the fact that we're all like, don't give it out to the director who will just keep the name and tell their own story, which is what happened with the Starship Troopers movie.
Yeah. Like, none of those characters, none of those characters have anything to do with what's going on. Like, he just looked, he looked through the book, there's a name, 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 there's a name. Good enough. It's like, you do realize that Dizzy was a guy who died in the prologue, right?
Oh, you know what? Now there's a part of me which is like, I will absolutely respect the hustle if the Helldivers movie is like the opposite of Starship Troopers, whereas like Starship Troopers, serious novel, silly movie, and then Helldivers becomes like a grim, dark, serious war drama. I'd be like, you know what? I respect that. Like, it's weird, and I don't know if I like it, but okay,
Right.
it's a choice.
I guess yes. Moving on to actors. Or are we done discussing rating, or are we?
I don't even know.
I think we've had a solid agreement for the R rating there. It probably won't happen because of corporate overlords, but
I mean, I'm not. What fits into what is so vague sometimes. Like, you feel like it's got one rating, yeah, another one very similar's got another rating. I don't know what standard is for each rating, but whatever rating doesn't restrict it with the violence. You know, the comedic violence or whatever, as long as it doesn't limit it, whatever reading is needed for that.
Basically, yeah, we want to have, our actual story of Helldivers, but we just don't want to have, like them to lowball it, feel like they have to, like, hold back their punches, so to speak.
Exactly.
I've heard that a lot.
The thing is, I don't want them to be like, this is R-rated, we're going to have gore in your face just because it's R-rated. I don't want something like that.
Yeah.
I don't want them to, like, have gore for the sake of gore. I just want them to be R-rated so that way they are unrestricted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I fully agree with that statement. All right, so so let's move on to casting.
So
the big running thing that's been. Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
I was gonna do my obligatory Chris Pratt joke, but you go ahead.
All right, yes, Adam wants Chris Pratt as Bile Titan. All right, so again, I'm on the side of, personally, like, for whoever's actually like the star of this, I'd like to see this be used as a star making movie, where you can have
come
a
out
bunch
role
of people,
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, breakout role. Have people who've never been in something before be put into this. Let them have, like, let them shine. Like, obviously, if they're the right people for it. I'm all about always make sure that whoever gets the job is the right person for the job. So, like, as far as stars go, I'm all for a bunch of unknowns coming in and this being their breakout film in whatever the fuck it's gonna be, and whatever role that they're gonna play in it. And then as for cameos, personally, I would love to see just like all the unkillable people throughout the history of films be brought in as cannon fodder.
the problem is it's all in their bloody contracts. So many action stars have it in their contracts they cannot lose a fight. Which is like, they have no sense of humor.
That's where I'm hoping.
Queen Latifah, like, actually literally has that in her contract where she cannot die on, as part of her role.
Interesting. I was thinking more along the lines of, like, where is it, like, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson cannot lose a fight on screen.
He lost a fight in his day in one of his first films. Like, his first two films, he dies.
Yep, but since then?
Good point.
I think I remember that being more of a thing around, like, the Fast and Furious series, but...
Fair enough. But no, that's... Like, I'd find it hilarious, one of the first scenes you see is, like, the Helldivers landing on an area where, like, the Seaf soldiers have been all but wiped out, and you're going through seeing all these bodies, and, like, there's The Rock, there's Casper Von Dien, there's, like, you're just finding all these legendary actors dead.
I guess, but I wonder if that runs the risk of slipping too far into parody.
Well,
I can see that. Like all the SEF are played by the cast of The Expendables.
That was something that came to mind when you were saying about the unkillable action stars. It was The Expendables, yes.
Or how about they do,
maybe not...
Go ahead.
Obviously, maybe not as cannon fodder per se, or bodies, but, like, to appear as other Helldivers, other officers, or just, like I said, to cameo?
Oh, wow. Okay. Star cameo, there is one casting here that is in question, and should it even be a thing? Gentlemen, who would portray General Brosh? Should he even be in the movie? Like, on a recruiting video, actually in action, doesn't matter. If he appears, who would play him?
For some reason, the first name that comes, or I don't. This is bad. I don't know the guy's name, but the actor who plays Red Foreman in that '70s show.
Huh. I was gonna go. I forgot his name too, but the guy who I know we talked about the Monster Hunter movie, or what was that guy in Hellboy? Not the remake, but the good Hellboy. You know, the one with like the Golden Army. And
Ron Perlman.
Yes.
I can see Ron Perlman doing a good job as General Brash.
I mean, my mind went somewhere similar, and I was thinking of Josh Brolin.
Oh, fuck. I know the name. What's he...
That's Cable from Deadpool 2 or Thanos.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That'd be a good one.
Can I change my answer?
Equally, Stephen Lang. Because he basically played Brosh when he was playing, Colonel Quaritch in Avatar.
Hell yeah, that'd be another good one. Although hilariously, what's the guy? What's the name guy who played Thanos?
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. What would be hilarious is you could have straight up a little stupid thing where like he's up on a ship watching all this shit happen. He finally just grabs a helmet, walks over to a hellpod. Fine, I'll do it myself. Show him.
Oh, God.
I can see it now.
I don't hate that.
Honestly,
I kind of dig that as a scene. Yeah, I'm kind of loving that actually.
Just like right near the end of the movie, it's just all of a sudden here comes General Brash, and he's just like running through everything like it's nothing, and they're like, "Oh God, it's true, he's immortal." Meanwhile, you just see on his backpack he's got the General Brash personal shield. It never breaks.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Now I don't know if this is going to be like.
I'm trying to remember names now.
I was gonna say this one's not for stars and cameos. We're not really going in order. We're just all just throwing names out at this point. I like it.
It's all stars and cameos.
This works.
Oh God,
we're just throwing darts at the wall right now, and hilariously, most of them are sticking.
Okay, for like something that plays in the background or like inspires our main character to sign up and join the Helldivers, for the Helldiver recruitment video in the line of what you get in the intro of the game, Terry Crews. Just Terry Crews with all of that energy.
I would like that. I threw out
as the recruiter Helldiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like doing almost like an Axe body spray video, but for Helldivers.
Oh, that would be awesome. Terry Crews cannot advertise Eagle Sweat. It would have to be the original Old Spice guy to do Eagle Sweat.
Yes, that was Isaiah Mustafa, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, he was the original guy in the Old Spice commercials.
Well, this would be a cool tongue-in-cheek cameo. What if Casper Van Dien was in it?
Yeah, I threw Casper Van Dien out as like a death cameo, but at the same time, like we need him involved in some way, shape, or form, because again, he's fucking Johnny Rico from Starship Troopers.
Exactly.
And on top of that, he's been vocal about the fact that he plays Helldivers and he loves it.
Exactly. So I feel like like I said, again, a bit more respect than just a body. I mean, just like
Casper Van Dien as Brosh.
Actually, Actually, no, I could see
Why
that
not?
because
Why not?
I was gonna say, if you've seen the last two Starship Troopers movies, which are both CGI, he does the voice of he's voicing Johnny Rico in those, and Rico is very much almost like a Solid Snake style character now. He's got a much more gruff and aggressive voice going on for it, so I could actually see Casper Von Dien doing a good job as Brash if needed, or even as John Helldiver.
We have a John Helldiver. It should be the actual John Helldiver.
Fair enough. But yeah, like seeing a bunch of the Starship Troopers cast come back for this one as a cameo would be really entertaining. And as a flip, another name that I've seen pop up a lot for Starship Troopers was Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah,
But for me, it's like, okay, you want to bring in the woman who dies in almost every role she's given. You have to flip it. She survives. On that point,
she's Eagle One.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Brings a good.
I was gonna
Who's
say,
going to
that-
be the Eagle One pilot, if not her? And
So,
also, who's
Michelle
going to be the
Rodriguez is
Pelican One
Eagle
pilot?
1. Sean Bean is Pelican 1.
I love that, actually.
The two people who cannot die are the people who always die.
Depends on what plot they go for, though. If, like, again, if this is a plot where, like, they get shot down or stranded on a planet, then it kind of gets put back in there.
Fair enough. Yeah, because I guess that's one thing we would need to remember is, like, in the games, yeah, Eagle 1 and Pelican 1 are untouchable. They can't be touched. In reality, no, they'd be constantly dodging incoming fire. So, yeah.
Ooh.
Like, it'd be fun to cast them in those spots, but then it'd be like, come on, like, they need a win. Sean Bean needs a win. What was the last movie he actually made it through?
Right, quite a few, to be fair.
I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure he says a few. He just has that reputation for some reason.
Oh my god, you could continue the meme. Like, if Sean Bean is Pelican 1 and he gets shot down, as long as he's got the marksman rifle, the breech loader, he'll be fine. Because as long as he's got one of those, he can't die. Because he made it through all of Sharp as the lead character. As long as it's, like, you know, a flintlock rifle, he's okay.
Fair enough.
Oh, it's the Constitution, that's the one. That, you know, the bolt action rifle they added as a joke, and people love it because it's got a bayonet.
You know what I'd find hilarious is like I'd find this hilarious, like, if somehow this podcast ends up like as something that they're listening to for what are things that fans would want to hear, and somehow this comes up and it gets back to Sean Bean, and Sean Bean just goes, you know what, I want in.
Come on, let's be realistic here.
Let me dream. It's all I've got.
If they go non-live action, I would say the cast and crew behind Lucky 13. That's the episode of Love, Death, Robots about the dropship. That's very sort of like Pelican 1 and Helldivers coded, I feel.
Okay, on that
That
same
could
note,
be very good.
what direction should we go for? Live action or CGI?
I mean, that is a different category.
That is a different category, but I guess we like, again, we're currently in the fuck it bucket at this point right now. So I'm honestly
Yeah, phrasing. I mean, I did have one other cameo thought, but I feel like, I mean, not a big thing, but I feel like the guy in the intro, the one who did does the opening adverts and then did the whole live on stage at the Game Awards.
Yeah, John Helldiver.
That's John
that
Helldiver.
it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that what's
Yeah.
referred to
He
as?
confirmed it on Twitter, or I guess X, depending on how.
Is it?
Yeah, that's John Helldiver.
Oh. See, I'm really out of the loop with this shit. Like,
No, he
you guys keep
confirmed it.
throwing down these names and phrases, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's okay, we'll cut it in post, you'll sound smarter.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
You're just giving him more editing work, stop!
What else is new? He keeps giving me shit!
No, the problem was I wasn't giving you shit, because that's why you couldn't get your skits made. Adam to the rescue.
Do I need to make more skits? I'm tired. I'm tired.
Move it on. I've already put my foot in it.
Fair enough. All right, so yeah, let's jump to the other all over the place one. Anime, CGI, or live action. Personally, I'd love to see it live action. I'd be fine with it being CGI. Anime, I'd like it, but not as a movie. I'd like it as an anime series. That's my take on it.
What studio? If you're going to talk anime, what studio?
Oh fuck.
As we actually circle around to sort of the purpose of where AMV Nightmare, anime should be our thing.
You know what? I think Madhouse or
Studio Madhouse is nice.
Madhouse would be good,
Good
but
pick.
Fuck, there's a I can't remember. There's a movie I want to see. I can't remember what the hell it's called, but it's somewhat similar to Helldivers in that they've got these soldiers who are dropping into war-torn cities with these little drop pods, and the animation looks crisp and everything about it looks really good. I can't remember what the fuck it's called now. Hang on. I'm gonna start looking for that. You guys continue on without me.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say, you could always go with very safe bets like Studio Trigger. The people most relevant for people curious is behind Edge Runners. But I don't know if that kind of stylization really works for Helldive.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't
like no zippy motion kind of stuff, and it doesn't really
capture
it that well.
Yeah, it's not that fast. Yeah, no, that's a valid point.
Found it. The movie's called Genocidal Organ.
Okay.
Yeah. Here we are. Okay, that's the book. I want the movie.
I have an opinion for later. For after once you've completed this one.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that explains it. Studio, Manglobe.
Oh, there we go. I will now, for your consideration, dear audience and members of the panel, make it animated, not anime, and just give it to Genndy Tartakovsky. Let him just redo the 2003 Clone Wars series, but Helldivers.
Wait, that's the same guy who did Samurai Jack and Primal?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yes. I
Not
actually
bad.
agree with that.
I'm not against this. Again though, I'm thinking not movie but series. Let him do like a 12 episodes, 12 or 20 episode series, because
20 episodes, 5 minutes each.
Fuck yeah.
Just the regular Helldive.
Absolutely, yes.
I mean, I'd love to see as like an anthology like Halo Legends or the Animatrix.
Halo Legends was good. The one episode that was clearly done by the Dragon Ball team was awesome. Spartan 13. Oh, that was a good one. It's like a mixture of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball meets Digimon almost. With a Spartan mixed into it all.
Yeah, actually, the Halo shorts weren't, and the anthologies were pretty decent. That's a good shout.
Just see from lots of different perspective across the Helldiver universe.
You'd want more of an anthology, yes, but let's try to bring it back. Sony has declared is an interest in a movie, so a single story. And I guess it doesn't matter what kind of style, live action, CGI, anime. I think it's safe to say current trends, especially if they're pitching it more of like a Western production, it's going to be live action.
Yeah.
How do we make it more? How do we make it more adaptation in terms of Sonic rather than Borderlands? Right?
God, yeah.
Flat
Heaven
out.
forbid we get another Borderlands.
God, don't. Ugh.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's like, it's going back to what I said earlier. The most important thing when it comes to video game, like if you're making a video game or a movie if you're doing any kind of adaptation, the writers, the show lead, and the director all have to know the source material and be fans of the source material. You can't have a fucking Netflix Witcher scenario where your show lead is going, I don't like the source material, fuck it, and then just ruins the entire show.
Because I think one of the reasons why Five Nights at Freddy's, which was like, because Scott Cawthon, he actually he wasn't writing the movie, but he was there to check on things. He was actually active there to make sure that things are actually faithful.
Same with Netflix One Piece. Oda was on set at times to basically be making sure, like, hey, you're not going to Cowboy Bebop my show.
To be fair, you mentioned Five Nights at Freddy's. I think the sort of numbers filed off version Willy's Wonderland is better, though. I honestly think that's the better movie. And if you haven't seen it, you should.
I'll need to look into that one.
Oh my god, have you not seen it?
I've never even heard of it until just now.
So Willy's Wonderland, it came out before, sorry, I'm taking us on an aside, edit this out. It came out before Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's that sort of there's a creepy place with creepy animatronics, and it's all live action and built in. But the protagonist is a silent character who's just a drifter whose car breaks down and just, he has to work this job to just tidy up this abandoned fast food place overnight. And it turns out that it's actually a place where there was a satanic cult did a murder-suicide, and they are now inhabiting the animatronics, and the town sends people there to get killed. The problem is the drifter is Nick Cage, and he just beats the shit out of them.
Okay, I need to see this now.
Nick Cage doesn't say a single spoken line in the entire movie.
I know that one.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh yeah,
it's really funny.
Yeah,
they try to jump scare him, and he punches them in the face.
Okay, I need to see this movie now. I need to see this movie now. We're leaving this in the
Willy's
podcast,
Wonderland. It's really good. Oh, god damn it.
This is not being cut out. I'm not cutting this.
I know the one you're talking about. I know what you're talking about now. Oh, come. The amount of times we've derailed on this podcast, of course we're going to keep it in.
All right, and so I guess let's go to the final thing. Plot. What do you want this movie to focus on?
All right then.
Sorry, you had something else to say, Striker?
I didn't get to say anything.
Okay, Striker.
Poor Striker.
Oh god, it's the fucking Ghost Recon Wildlands credits all over again. Okay, Striker. Anime, sci-fi, or live action?
What?
What? Sci-fi? If yes, it's a sci-fi.
I swear to God, I've had
rom-com.
Make podcasts so beautiful.
Coming soon to you for Valentine's Day. Helldivers. The only love is liberty.
Okay, I'm sorry, Striker. Floor is yours. I'll shut up.
I mean, yeah, I don't think this sort of thing would be an anime. No, I don't think it matches it well. Yes, live action is probably the route they'd likely go to, and probably the safest bet, but we've had so many bad live action adaptations. It's like almost like flipping a coin. So I'm not sure how much I want it, if you know what I mean. Maybe a more CGI or animated version might be better. Maybe a bit more freedom with everything.
Oh my god, Don Bluth presents Helldivers.
That'd be something.
I'm right there with you, Striker. That's an actual sort of Western animation kind of thing would be good. Yeah.
I'm just thinking on just because you're talking about that. I agree with what you're going with, because again, you compare the Resident Evil movies that exist. Everything that's been, all the live actions that have been made have been fucking dog shit. But then you look at the CGI ones that have been made, and they've been absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, we've had a few good ones. lately. Credit where credit's due. Like with Sonic, and I heard Fallout was pretty good.
So I haven't watched.
Oh yeah,
Fallout.
no, Fallout's very solid.
Yeah, well, again,
So-
though, we're talking movies, not series. Like
I mean,
yes,
true, but
Sonic
but-
movies, good. Fallout was a series, and again, I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of good about it.
I think there's not one or two more that I'm forgetting. But like, the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like it can be done, but it's so rare that it's done properly. So maybe an animation that blends a bit of 3D and 2D together, kind of similar. I think, well, maybe not a similar style but I feel like I'm pretty sure like some of like the Puss in Boots and Spider-Verse, they have a blend of both, and they look really good.
They look really good, but again, yeah, they are very quick.
Yeah,
Visually very fast-paced, and I don't know if that would fully fit the Helldivers.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. The
style.
stylization of those would not fit, but the fact they just blend the two so well that you're not, that's my kind of thought.
Yes, there are other ways to do that. Yeah, no, and to actually explore something new, that is an interesting thought. I guess also, as Shadow is about to take us into the plot discussion, there is the big question here of, could you even animate it? How much, could you even make this into a movie? How much of Helldivers, like, the fun and the draw of it is actually playing it, and you can't adapt that.
Yeah, that was my
It is
concern, disconnecting, like, player interaction with the actual world of Helldivers.
because it's part of that very successful genre of 4 idiots risk their life for minimum wage, like Lethal Company or Deep Rock Galactic.
Alright. Like, because, like, I think with, especially with, like, Lethal Company, like, with friends playing it, it's a comedy, but if you're in that world, it's a damn horror.
It's like our friend Stoney keeps saying, like, Helldivers is a horror game to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's an MGS game, so...
Yeah.
So it really comes down to... I feel like the best way to do it, again, is a bit like Starship Troopers. It's a bit of a war film, it's a bit of an action film, but it's still a bit tongue-in-cheek. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, just keep that tongue-in-cheek, especially since some of it in-universe is still a bit tongue-in-cheek, again, with the adverts and how the training does. So the world is still a bit tongue-in-cheek. So, keeping that little bit of a tongue-in-cheek vibe might be the best way to keep it from just being another generic sci-fi.
I was just going to say, like, the in-game adverts being tongue-in-cheek. I'm just remembering the newest one, like, coming up, eating calamari. Is it patriotic or Illuminate propaganda?
Again, I feel like you need these kind of adverts, maybe at the beginning or just in the background. Again, without completely replicating Starship... without completely replicating Starship Troopers of having cut-in ads...
But the weird thing is, I can't think of another movie that has done that. And I don't think that's a bad way to help the audience get into the world, you know what I mean?
As well as be, like, a good
like,
scene
if
transition.
people, yeah, like, if people are saying, like, oh, it's just a ripoff of this, yes, but is it still good? Then does it matter?
I mean, my problem is, again, feeling that allegations have been too much being Starship Troopers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because that is quite a unique thing for Starship Troopers, and yes, it's very similar to Helldivers could do that very easily, but you worry about it again. Just people just saying, "Oh, it is just Starship Troopers."
Then, okay, so do the Helldiver movie, and again, it's like Starship Troopers, but instead of the bugs, it's the automaton front. So you're having newscasts, and instead of the bugs, it's the bots, and you have all the Terminator footage spliced in.
I was about to say, okay, so then everyone's saying, oh, we're watching which one was it? Terminator. What was the one that was set in the future?
Genesis, I think it was.
Genesis, yeah, maybe, yeah, Genesis. The famous one with the freak out on set. Christian Bale freaking out on set.
I think Oh, then you could still do the adverts. Do ads as ads like at the beginning of the movie, or like from the news broadcast, like while they're on the ship or something. But like not actually cut it into the film, if you know what I mean. Like have it there, but not cut in, like how Starship Troopers does it.
But I was actually just because you say that now, going back to me saying like it's a good way to shift scenes. That I think that'd be a really interesting way to do it. Like you have like you start out somewhere, like say you're in a house and people and like an advert for a Helldiver or something comes on, and you zoom in and make the advert the whole screen, and then you zoom away and now you're in a whole new place where they were watching that scene, but now you're like at the training academy or you're on a super destroyer.
Yeah.
I think another good beat, like again, shows like this do like news broadcasts and all that to scene transition. You could do people reporting on the battles or what's happened, and then at the end of it, it's got one of those over-the-top adverts, just to keep that, because it could be a serious report about the war front or the battle progress, and then just have the advert after it, so you keep that tongue-in-cheek nature and the capitalism aspect.
What the automatons don't know is they're about to find out how hard every man, woman, and child over 7 is willing to work.
The automatons are taking jobs away from patriotic children by conquering the mines of Cyberstan. The children yearn for the mines. Help them retake Cyberstan.
Oh, God.
So, okay. Alright, sorry, my brain just completely farted. So we're trying to figure out what to do for plot, correct?
Yes, that's as good a title for this section as any.
I thought we already were.
A direction I hope they don't go,
say,
and they do this right. I know that I'm trying to think of like the whole that one thing I really did not like was like that one scene in the beginning of Alien 2, I believe it was, where we have all these characters that we actually like, and then they kill them off in such in an untasteful way. I want something like better than that.
That'd be Alien 3 you're thinking of.
Alien 3. Okay, thank you. I got my aliens mixed up.
Yeah.
But that's like characters from a previous film being
that was the thing,
unceremoniously killed off. That's
because I know we joked around having like beloved actors and they get killed off, but I just want to make sure they do it right. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's a character or like an actor whose very presence has like character built in, you want them to have a much more sort of meaningful exit.
I mean, I'm not too sure about that, because just the way how easy it is to die in Helldivers and how much of a meat grinder it is. Because like a lot of these, again, calling back to both with Aliens, like with Alien 2, and with again Starship Troopers, we had a couple of characters we knew we had faces that had personalities beginning, and then got butchered in the first encounter.
Yeah.
So, I feel like that is kind of the norm for Helldivers.
Yeah. I suppose you could also very much build into the sort of traditional 3-act structure. Have, Act 1, the Terminids. Act 2, the Automatons. Act 3, the Illuminate. I
mean, again, I suppose it depends on how we structure it. Like, is it going to be one planet, one enemy, or are we going to be bouncing around all over the place? Could you even do all 3 justice in one film?
You could, but the thing is, you wouldn't... I guess here is when we're talking into the sort of like storytelling. Would the focus be the conflict, or would the focus be showing off Super Earth and the democracy and the satire of that?
Well, here's the thing.
Because if you're doing that, you can easily have all the different villains, because you don't really need to focus on them.
Well, they don't. I guess they could. They could be mentioned, in pass, or I guess how we were talking about how we start off the movie, there's a whole promo video, and there's a whole promo video is no, them actually fighting the Terminids, but the main meat and juice of the movie is like like the automatons.
Yeah, I like that idea. We could open it up with like, again, if we don't, depending on whether we follow the people from Boot Camp Super Earth to Conflict, or we could jump into Conflict, having some of the characters chewing through Terminids to get them established, and then when they hit the bots where they're pushing forward, thick shit gets real.
That
like how it feels to actually transition from bugs to bots in the game.
Absolutely, like I agree with that, and like flat out, if that's the direction we wanted to go with, then obviously, like, if we want to talk like what's a plot to tell, flat out, then the obvious one that would be Malevelon Creek, because it was one of those things of everyone went from, because in game everyone's like, we're used to killing bugs, this is easy. Oh, we all need to go look at the bots now. This will be, oh my god.
Well, you've peaked one of our headsets there.
Yes, that's actually blowing out the mic.
I suppose, again, so one of the things is, because you've talked about all this, and I like that idea of, like, doing the intro, like, the first 1-2 minutes is a proper hell dive of, like, a team that communicates, and it's almost like, you see the really cool clips on TikTok and whatever, and, they do the successful hell dive, and then it pulls out of being, like helmet footage that was recorded, and that's sort of what's being sort of shown on the evening news or something, and that we meet our character who's like a Helldiver fanboy, bought into the propaganda and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that.
Although there is a part of me which is also quickly questioning, what if it was a prequel? What if it was the first Galactic War? What if it was Helldivers 1?
That was actually what I was going to say. Because a big thing for me was, honestly, because I figured someone here was going to say, the movie has to be about Malevelon Creek, so I was like, I don't want to bring up Malevelon Creek, but just, well, with how everything was going, I was like, yeah, that would work really well for a plot setup for Malevelon Creek. My original idea was to say, I'd like to see a trilogy focusing on the first Galactic War, and how it began all the way to the end. And just focus on, like, the most important parts of it.
Okay, speaking about that, a running joke I've been hearing a lot around on Reddit is we should name the movie Helldivers 2 just to confuse, like, the people who don't get the joke.
I respect that. However, I also think, what if the movie was in-universe?
Oh, like an in-universe propaganda film.
It's an actual movie made within the universe of Helldivers 2.
Ooh.
Okay, that flat out, that would be a tongue-in-cheek comedy of, like, you're watching them. God damn! I'm just now thinking, like, you've got someone coming out wearing a Terminid costume, and, like, this Terminid just comes running up like, Arr! And they're like, ah, and then the Terminid just, like, pulls the head off to reveal. So I was like, okay, seriously, I know I'm in a costume, but can you guys pretend to actually be scared? Well, I'm sorry, John, but you didn't.
You think they'd have costumes? They just import a Terminid and unleash it on the actors using live weapons.
Yeah. I think what would be a great idea for that, again, it being in universe, use, like you said, about using camera, helmet footage, the propaganda, and all that, They're sugar-coated. They gloss it to make it all look glorious and liberty, but then interspersed in, like, it glitches to show, like, the real conflicts and the real horror of it every now and then. You know what I mean?
That is the better way to tell that story and that movie. The way you would frame it, it would be a docudrama about a movie studio trying to make the movie, but it's a movie studio in universe trying to make this propaganda masterpiece and all the problems. So you'd have like a scene in The Office, a producer going like, "Look, where can we get Terminids? We need to ship them in for realism." Like there are film, like there's the film which is like the making of Nosferatu. And it's not the Nosferatu film, but it's the film about the making of it and how, like, the actor's actually a vampire. Like, that kind of tongue-in-cheek thing. I forgot what it's called, but yeah.
Have a shot of a Bile Titan sitting in, like, an actor's chair. Yeah, the shots were really difficult to do. But no,
as much as this stuff would be great. I feel we're pulling a bit too far back, especially for like a first film.
Yeah.
And that I think as much as
Well,
we
first
love
and
these
only.
things,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I feel like as much as as great as this stuff, again, being in universe thing or production thing, I don't think they'd want it as like their starter.
I think that would be a very strong standalone, though. Like,
oh yeah,
you are looking at them. You are looking at them. Okay, so the movie we as people are watching is the story of a propaganda machine trying to create something inspiring in universe. So you were watching these characters trying to make a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just because you say that, my brain now straight goes to, all right, that just turned into a full plot for a proper movie. So the beginning of the whole thing is, they're trying to make this propaganda movie. They're trying to play it safe. They've got, animatronic Terminids. They've got people in costumes, and they're like going, we'll do it CGI and nothing's working. So then this director finally gets all upset, imports actual Terminids and Terminid eggs, sets them loose on set, going, now this'll make a great movie, and our Helldivers can truly show their amazingness. And the Helldivers are going, we're actors, we're not real Helldivers. What do you mean? And then that turns into a thing where actual Helldivers are now sent in to rescue this fucking movie crew.
Yes. That's the movie. Tropic Thunder plus Starship Troopers.
Yes!
That's how you keep the tone of Helldivers alive. Because the propaganda is a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to find a way to show that whilst in universe the characters are taking it seriously. You know, like, and Starship Troopers does that really well. But you need to find a new way of presenting that.
I'm just picturing like this director, like he's like just all proud of himself, like, yeah, I set the Terminids loose. This movie's gonna turn out great now, right, Helldivers? We're not real Helldivers. Smile just decreases a bit. You're not, and then just gets ganked by a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, because also, I think it's an important thing to keep in mind. When Starship Troopers came out, the way information was presented was TV and radio. What could a director now do with stuff like the internet and TikTok? Can you imagine, like, the transitions from Starship Troopers, but it's TikTok trends? In universe.
Okay, let's be honest, I wouldn't call it TikTok. It would have to be something super Earth-related, like...
Yes, but I mean, like, for the sake of argument, like, think about those kind of things you could start to sort of play around with.
Super entertainment, I don't know.
Yeah, it would be. Well, it's the Ministry of Information, right?
Obviously.
Jesus, they leaned into the Rule 34 jokes because there's an actual form for, like, breeding.
You what now?
Yeah, the
Did you remember that?
C10 forms.
Yes.
Remember,
to have children, you need to sign paperwork.
Remember, before doing any activity that could result in a child, to fill out your
C10
form.
Yeah.
Oh, right, that's what you were talking about. Right, got it.
Yeah. What did you think I was talking about?
I have no idea. Where this was going.
You said Rule 34, everything got confusing.
If you want to know Striker's real opinions, please subscribe to our After Dark channel.
What?
Subscribe to our Patreon.
Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
I think this is going off the rails a bit.
Just a bit.
All right, so
fair point.
Yeah.
Moment of press F to pay respect to the editor of this episode.
Me. All right, so we're an hour and 20 minutes into this at this point. Or we're getting close to that. Does anyone have anything else to say in regards of, like, plot? Because everyone's all over the place on the plot idea.
Okay. Let's go down the list. So, Shadow. I've basically made a pitch for this movie to be like, you know, we're actually following, like, the production of propaganda, because that's very true to the spirit of Helldivers, and you get the action in that they're like, oh, to save on budget, we'll just get real enemies, and we'll just follow a Helldiver crew. So that was kind of our collaborative pitch for a plot. But let's go down the line. Shadow, what's your pitch for a Helldivers movie plot?
As I said, I think a trilogy covering the first Galactic War would be a good place to start.
Okay, first movie in the trilogy.
First movie in the trilogy. Ah, shit. That would be interesting because, like, flat out, that movie would automatically feel like Starship Troopers solely because the president of Super Earth during the First Galactic War was literally named President Killjoy. Like,
That's strong.
you don't get more, like, you hear that, you automatically know you're in for some bullshit. I don't recall the full stuff of the. I need to go back and listen to the lore, but from what I understand, basically, like, the whole thing was the Super Earth discovered the bugs because they didn't call them the Terminators back then. They called them the bugs. They discovered the bugs and, like, these are intelligent creatures. We can communicate with them. They seem to be non-hostile. They degrade into oil really fast. Kill them!
Okay. Fair.
So the first movie could, like, very much be, like, just showing more or less how the public is deceived into believing that these alien bugs that they've discovered have use as E710, or oil, but we're gonna call it E710 because can't let everyone know that the war machine still runs on oil.
Okay. Fair. Yeah. No. Makes sense. Striker.
I've been bouncing around a lot of ideas.
I mean, yeah, you've pretty much mostly created the collaborative plot we came up with just now.
I mean, that was a good idea, I said, but I don't think it would work as a first film. That's what I'm saying. Getting that balance between not being generic, but also, I don't know, a bit. I hate saying this, but a bit more wider appeal. You know what I mean? So that's actually going to capture the essence of Helldivers without going too, almost too meta. I don't know if you want to call it that. I don't know what to call it. But I suppose when I was talking about earlier about whether do we stay on one planet, do we stay on one enemy, how many people do we follow? I think following a close-knit squad from Super Earth to the fight, I think that'd be a good idea. And maybe go through a few planets, maybe Terminators and bots. I don't think we should have the Illuminate just yet because they feel like a bigger thing, and again, they're also pretty new in the game. So sticking to the bots and bugs that people know would be a good idea. I think I'm not entirely sure what I would want the overall plot to be. Like, what would be the big threat? How would they cap off the film? I'm not entirely sure. You definitely want, I think, interesting characters and character growth. Seeing all this, perhaps. I don't know where I can't remember where I heard it. I feel like I heard this from a theory or someone's idea, and I can't remember where. But maybe the soldiers could start off as bright-eyed, feeding into the propaganda and all that, and as the thing goes on, the conflicts weigh on them, and the I can't remember what is it, like the one who directs you on the ship? Is he like the quartermaster or something? I can't remember what he's called.
Democracy supervisor or something.
The one who's at the map with you.
Democracy officer.
I don't remember what his name.
There you go. Thank you.
All right. Well, maybe the democracy officer, like, he could be a veteran from the first war, and he might be a bit more jaded about the propaganda, who maybe gets him to question it a little bit.
Okay, you're talking about the story idea that I had.
Is that what you proposed? Yeah. I can't remember. It's so long ago at this point.
Yeah, I guess, like, veil back on that one. I'm wanting to try and write a Helldiver theme, like a Helldiver story, to turn into like an audio, not an audio drama, but like an audio theater book, where it's got like narration, voice acting, and sound effects on it.
I feel a little bad now saying that I come with that idea when it was saying that I like that idea when you came up with it. Apparently,
hey, no
well, he didn't get it copyrighted.
The fact that you brought it up tells me that it's something that resonated with you and you think it'd be a good idea. So, thanks. I'll take that. Pat on the back.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Well, why not just write
in
on that
case,
idea?
let's move on. And Atom.
Okay, so writing on that same idea, what about the whole we are technically the bad guys aspect of it?
Realization. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Where like
I mean, it could start off
we have like a new
like
recruit, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed new recruit buying the propaganda, but he's slowly realizing we're actually the bad guys in all this.
I mean, with that, it could start off a bit more with the whole tongue-in-cheek, the adverts and all the memes and all that, and then slowly gets a bit more serious as he sees the conflict and the just war in general. Because when they first start off, it is like the players starting off. This is going to be all the memes, all the fun stuff. This is what we expect the film to be like. But then as it gets a bit further in the conflicts, the seriousness of what it's actually like to be in that universe.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm not against it.
I feel like online discourse over the potential ideas and stuff leans heavily in favor of the Starship Trooper style ending of there isn't like self-actualization or realization. There is, you have been inducted into this propaganda war machine and you are part of it, full stop.
True.
Mostly because I feel it's almost a striking back against the sort of very overused and poorly executed, like, protagonist wakes up to their reality being wrong and leads the fight back.
You got a point there.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be done, because you guys have voiced it pretty well, but it's been overdone and poorly at that. If
That's
it's
true.
done properly, then it'll absolutely rejuvenate that entire trope story architecture.
Not like a whole
that's
getting a
fine.
MacGuffin kind of thing.
Yeah. But again,
yeah.
if you're leaning into the if you're leaning more into the sort of like Helldivers thing of like it's meant to just be kind of fun and entertainment, and it can have like a message behind it. Again, as we keep going back to Starship Troopers, they will stay propagandized. Whereas if you want to have that sort of trauma character arc, I'm going to toot my horn and go back to the 3-arc structure. Part 1, Act 1, dealing with the Terminates. That's a very simple, you are facing a very sort of bestial foe. Act 2, you're dealing with a much more sort of elite, competent foe. This is where you start getting weathered and traumatized. And then you get to Act 3 and the Illuminate and the whole notion of thought crime. Of the doubt and the questioning. How much of that is like straight up you, how much is, because you can portray it as like, oh, is it the Illuminate affecting them? Or are they actually having a conscience now that propaganda can't wipe out?
Interesting.
Or is that a little bit too high-minded for this movie?
Maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, you got make a good point about that.
Yep.
I think it's a very good way to present it. I still feel like having the Illuminated might be too much. I don't know.
It depends how they are deciding to portray it. Because if you're doing... If the story is focused on Super Earth and the Helldivers, then you can have them sort of almost like, the Terminate front could be almost like a montage.
Or I doubt.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if I'm being too bold here, using the Illuminate as like sequel bait material.
Yeah, that's what I would think. To be honest, I mean, maybe
I think even us being dragged into the idea of trilogy and sequel bait is part of the problem. Just make a good, solid standalone movie that could be extended potentially, but is good standalone, right?
I mean, I agree with that, but that's also another reason why I think the Illuminate is too much, because there's a lot more to them that can't be properly expressed in a single film, if you know what I mean.
But does it have to be? Does it matter? Do the opponents in the Helldivers movie matter beyond this is the horde enemy, this is the tactical enemy, and then this is like the enemy that confronts your beliefs in mind? do we need to spend a lot of time detailing and fleshing them out? Because, like, is the movie focusing on the enemies, or is it focusing on Super Earth? Because I feel like the focus should be on Super Earth in a way, and yes, you have the conflict and the action, but that's sort of, that's not the thesis or the core idea at the heart of the film.
Okay, but how would it wrap up then? That's my thing.
That's where it leans in. Would you have it that they remain propagandized, where this is an endless war? That is part of the joke. That they keep saying, we will win, and there is no winning, because if they win, Super Earth itself will collapse. Right? So you'd need to have that sort of arc of the new Helldiver becoming the grizzled Helldiver. Someone who is propagandized, but from a naive point to a sort of world-weary, I can't change this. I am powerless to change the situation. I can only do the best I can. Again, in the original Starship Troopers, the story arc was of leadership. It was him going from naive kid to the leader of the Roughnecks. Right?
Not wrong.
Yeah, but he can also say, like, well, yeah, but that sounds shit. You can say that.
I understand what you're coming from. The problem is, with Starship Troopers, it still had a resolute conflict, so to speak. The finding and capturing of the brain bug that was built throughout the film. My problem is, yes, we can have that, all these different enemies, all these different progression of characters, but then you've just got a nothing ending, though. That's my problem.
That if you're doing the progression of characters, have your democracy officer having been subverted by the Illuminate the whole time.
Ooh, okay, that could be interesting, but again, not as a first film. That need to be one like further on.
See,
yeah, okay. First film, the origin story of General Brosh. There,
fair. Like, that's why I feel like the Illuminated is too much to cram in a first film.
Yeah, fair.
All right, Adam, did you have a plot suggestion?
Oh no, you guys nailed it. What I got, so you guys are good.
Sorry, dude.
It's okay. He just slaps executive producer onto the.
There you go.
But before we wrap this all up, I just wanted to quickly throw back something I wanted to say when Hydra, you were saying like the bugs could just be like this little cameo bit. It's like, okay, if you do it as a cameo, you absolutely have to play Jonathan Young's Helldiver song "Pesticide" while that's going on.
Yes, Jonathan Young on the soundtrack, please.
If for no other song, "Pesticide" has to play at some point when you're fighting the Terminids.
You know what? Why not? We're ripping off movies. Throw in like the Guardians of the Galaxy mixtape style thing in there.
Yeah.
Like he inherited from the Helldiver who saves his life and inspires him to join the Helldivers.
Well, have like the
Put
generic
Jonathan
Mr. Blue
Young
Sky
in
by
Helldive.
Yellow just playing just for any combat scene.
I mean, that's a great way you could open it, like the opening credits, again, like Deadpool style of them butchering through a group of bugs.
No, it should be the bugs butchering the Helldivers.
Oh, yeah. That would also be pretty good, actually.
like you get that whole heroic 1 minute scene, and then the cameraman gets killed, and then it enters the slow motion credits of the Helldivers being slaughtered with cheery music.
Oh,
that would be fantastic.
That's how you do it.
Make a great bait and switch. Make you think they're going to be the main characters, and then get completely ripped apart.
And then when the credits are done, they just zoom back up onto the Super Destroyer. Squad lost. Oh shit.
Oh my god. That would be perfect. It's all about the Super Destroyer crew, because they've got like 50 Helldivers in cryopods on each ship.
20. They have 20 in each ship.
Yeah, 20, sorry. Yeah, there you go.
just write them like, squad lost. Super Destroyer out of reinforcements. Return to Super Earth for restock.
And that's when we pick up the new bright-eyed, bushy-tailed recruits.
Make it even
That actually would be
make it
good
even
opening.
darker. Like as they're getting ready to jump to faster than light travel, you just see a couple of the crew members passing bills between each other on like who bet that this guy was gonna die.
Absolutely.
That would be a great. Doing
Or
it.
one of the Helldivers is like a cocky prick, so like the person in charge of like the Hellpod supply pods just gives him less ammo. Or like they're trying to call in reinforcements, and because they only use like the free trial version of the software on the Superstar Destroyers, like you need to buy a full license. Oh, sorry, you're not qualified for that.
I was even having like just this dumb idea of just have two Helldivers just standing somewhere, and then all of a sudden just one of them is, "Hey, yeah, you ever wonder why we're here?" Traitor detected.
You were gonna do that.
And I was like, and also just traitor detected, and then they get shot from the Super Destroyer.
I knew you were going there. I knew it.
Yeah, but did you see the traitor detected part coming?
Yeah. Good old thought crime.
All right. Anywho, we're at an hour and a half at this point. I think we've touched on everything we aimed to touch on for this. So, guys, thanks for gathering to have this little chin wiggle.
Sure.
And anyone who's actually watched this, thanks for tuning in. Any suggestions or anything, drop a comment, like, share, and subscribe. You know the drill. And if someone watching this knows someone who might know someone who might know someone, hey, send it up the chain. Maybe we dropped an idea that could actually help this movie like land properly.
Well, you got to stay on brand, man. Remember, citizens, subscribing guarantees citizenship.
Thank you. Thank you, Hydra.
That's it. That's the stuff.
I think Hydra just has cemented himself as AMV Nightmare's democracy officer.
He's the one in the ship.
Fair enough. All right. So I guess with that, thanks for tuning in. Hope you all have a good day, week, month, year, whatever and whenever you watch this. And bye.
Remember the creek.